Ken, obviously there's a bit of talk recently about Kiko Martinez and the sort of back and forth. Can you fill us in on what the situation is there?
Well, at the minute the talks are still ongoing. I don't really know. Matchroom and Barry McGuigan, they're dealing with Brian Peters. I haven't heard anything yet, but apparently they want the fight, I want the fight, so if they keep their word, then there's no reason why it won't be made.
Is it frustrating all this sort of back and forth, and even hearing bits through the press and not knowing?
No, it's not really frustrating because there's still plenty of time to go. We're looking to get it on the September 10th McCluskey bill, so there's plenty of time. Suppose if it gets a bit closer and we still don't know, then it'll start getting frustrating. But at the minute, I'm training with Kiko in mind, even though nothing's been signed. But that's who I want for the next fight.
So on your end, you want the fight, there's no doubt about it.
No doubt at all.
You definitely want Kiko.
Yeah.
What about this? You just fought a British title eliminator, so
yeah.
You're on the British path. What happens in that regard?
Well, I don't know what happens, to be honest. It was a British title eliminator, but Brian Peters, they've offered us the fight. So when you get offered a European title fight and you think you're ready for it, then you take it.
There's no going back to British title though. You couldn't fight after the European.
I know.
This is a belt you probably want, is it?
It's a belt that I want. I do want it. I've said since the start of my career I want it. But if we get this European title fight, all the better. It's whatever comes first, really.
And I know like the back and forth, and Barry said initially, the options were a problem. And then again, after Peter offered no options, he said maybe we'd probably wait a while, or does that sort of knock your confidence a little bit, or what?
Because I know.
You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, but I know myself that what I can do, and Barry knows as well, and there's no doubt in my mind. I believe Barry's mind now either that will be Kiko Martinez. If he thought that I wasn't ready, he wouldn't have took the fight, no doubt. So hopefully it gets made, and I think, in my own opinion, that he's made for me. He's perfectly suited to me, but I'm confident enough.
Was all that just an overreaction to the Turley fight?
Well, I think he came out and he says, and then he talked to me after it, and he says he watched it live, he hadn't got the chance to watch it back, but he said it was much better watching it back on TV than it was sitting there live. He maybe jumped the gun a bit, but I felt the exact same myself, and you could tell in the post-fight interview that I was a bit down. I thought it didn't perform great, but once I watched it back, I thought it was okay against a very awkward opponent. It did what I had to do, and I probably won 8 out of 10 rounds.
Yeah, and even at that, were you overcritical of yourself then? Was that the case, or is it you really wanted to build up to the hype?
There was a bit of pressure and stuff. First fight on Sky, Robbie Turley had a lot of fans. He had more than me there. There was plenty of noise being made, and I wanted to tell you the truth, I wanted to knock the guy out. I was maybe trying a bit too hard to knock him out, but you learn from these sort of things, and good thing is I've done 10 rounds, which I've never done before, done them quite easily as well, but that was it. I was maybe a bit too eager, but watching it back I was definitely a bit overcritical, and it was okay.
And in the end you really, despite the sort of the negativity or whatever after it, in the end you won the fight quite handily.
Yeah, I won it quite comfortably. Some of the rounds were quite close, but I would only give him probably 2 rounds. I had to deal with different things. He was hitting me with the head a lot, he cut me. These are things that haven't happened to me, and I thought I dealt with them well enough.
And do you think, now that you've had that fight, you put in the sort of hard rounds or whatever, and you've dealt with the pressure, do you think the pressure's that's benefit you put the pressure behind you now, and every fight is just take it as it comes when you're in the ring,
definitely,
rather than trying to impress everyone?
I'm doing, I'll be sparring 8 and 10 rounds, but it's different doing it on fight night, and you've always got that in your head. Can I do it? Can I do it on fight night? I've only done 6 before that last fight, so to do 10, it's a big plus. I'm learning all the time. I know I can do 10 quite easily. I'm getting fitter with every fight. I'm learning different things with Jerry and with Barry and Shane McGuigan as well. I feel like I'm getting stronger with every fight. My camps are getting longer, and I'm working out with a girl called Mary Hunter too. And you can tell my physique, and I'm making the weight much easier. I feel stronger and look much stronger.
And what about even just 11 fights, and you're already fighting possibly for a European title? Is it credit to Barry, or credit to your talent, or credit to everything put together?
Well, I think you have to give credit to us all. Barry's really looked after me. He's got me in this position to get a fight. Jerry's done wonders with me. Changed me to be boxing more like a professional than an amateur. Sort of already has the pro style, but there was different things that Jerry had to work on with me, and they all worked great. But I suppose we'll have to give credit to me, myself, for getting there, for Barry for making the fights, and for Gary for doing the great job.
And do you think, 11 fights as an example, you took tough fights straight off the bat, didn't you? Like Gavin Reid and Yoranov and things like that. Do you think that not only is a stand to you, it's helped you get to where you are?
Definitely it has helped me. We're boxing guys like Fornan, I think it was my sixth fight. 6 or 7 fights, something like that. And it was early, and it was good. It's helped me, and there's no point, there's no point hanging about and boxing guys that aren't great. You're never going to learn anything. So if you've got the talent, then you get in with these guys. If you feel you can beat them, and you take the fight.
So obviously you feel you can beat Kiko.
I feel I can beat Kiko, and he's made for me. He's a come forward, aggressive fighter. No doubt in my mind it's going to be a hard fight and the toughest fight of my career. He's a big puncher, but you seen what he did against Jason Booth. He's starting to box a bit more, but Booth's a nice guy, but he doesn't hit half as hard as me, so I don't think Kiko will want to come forward as much as he did against Booth.
And just on that, you've sparred Booth a lot, if you know what I mean. Can you look at Kiko's performance and compare how you done against Booth in sparring? Or?
Well, not really, because this is a completely different thing. Booth is a nice boxer. He's at the end of his career now. He doesn't punch hard, so Kiko could afford to take a couple to land his own, and that's what he did. But it's going to be a different story against me. I hit much harder than Booth, and once I start whacking him as he's walking on, he'll not want to come forward as much.
Just a little bit on Paddy Barnes. I know you're doing a couple of interviews here with him today. 2012, hopefully Olympic gold medalist. 2012, will you be looking at world level boxing, or you jump the gun there?
Will I be looking at? No, 2012 maybe a bit early by the time the Olympics when Paddy Barnes comes, but we'll see. I'm learning with every fight, so we just have to take our time and see what happens. But if I get this fight with Martinez, it's onwards and upwards. They're all going to be defences of a European title, so they're all going to be 12-round fights, and they're what's going to prepare me for when the time comes to box for a world title.
And a word for Paddy, do you think you get the goal?
Paddy's one of the best light flyweights in the world. Every single tournament he goes into now, he's expecting a gold medal. If he doesn't get a gold, he's disappointed. That includes the Worlds and the Olympics. But great chance of Paddy becoming world champion this year and Olympic champion in 2012.
Brilliant. Thanks, guy. The Carl there, and all on a professional level in the gym here. So all the talk is on of Kiko Martinez of late. I know Barry has come back and forth saying that Carl wasn't ready, he's ready. Or what's your opinion on that situation?
Okay, I think at one stage, I don't think he ever said that he wasn't ready or anything like that. I think it was just contractual agreements and disagreements, and I think that's why the thing fell through last time. But as far as I'm concerned, and my opinion would be on it, once they pick an opponent, he goes into training to win, and we're all behind him 100%. We have enough confidence in him that he will win.
And Kiko Martinez, have you confident he can beat Kiko?
Oh yeah, anybody they pick from, he's well schooled, and he's done well with his experience in the pro game. His experience is massive with the amateur squad. He's been all over the world, and he's fought some of the greatest amateurs in the world, and went on to be great pros. And he's used that. What I'm saying that is he's used that to save attention, going to all these multi-nations, Boston's, the Russians, the Cubans, all the top nations. So he's a wealth of experience that people don't realise about, and he's stepped up to the stone every time in the pro game.
So he's already at that level. Right?
I guess I'm happy with him. As I said before, it's a game of tactics, a game of skills.
I know some of the sort of controversy comes around from the performance against Robbie Touré, but I know you were delighted with that display. Where others you were saying you were happy Carl got a test and learned a few tough lessons maybe that night. Or? Well,
he learned a few lessons because listen, we had seen him, and we knew rightly that he was going to be one awkward opponent to box. He's as awkward as an awkward southpaw. Big kind of punch, a tall lad, but very, very awkward and very dangerous. So we knew that, and I knew that by looking at him and looking at the way he boxed and the tactics that he used. But he learned a few lessons in that fight because the bottom line was when he got himself back, got his composure back, started boxing, he gave him a boxing lesson. And that's what we wanted him to do. A few wee things he learned in that fight.
And do you think he tried to knock him out, or there was a bit of he felt like he had to stop the lad, or?
Well, I think when he realised then, because he's strong and he's a strong puncher, so he was getting in there and he would have been, he would have went for the knockout or he would have went for a stoppage. But then again, when he realised that he had to make the switch, he switched back and he started boxing and using the skills. And that's what he learned very quick, how easy it was when he remembered the skills that he had. He used his skills, adding to the punching power.
And do you think that'll stand to him? Like, you won't be able to knock everyone out.
No, that's right. That's the lesson that I was trying to get through to you the last time. That's the lesson he learned. You know, if a knockout comes, it comes. If it doesn't, he can bout boxing.
And the future is bright for him.
Absolutely, yeah, because he's a crowd pleaser. Crowd love to watch him, so that's it. And that was a lesson he learned too. He could box. He would be boxing to his own self and whatever tactics we work out from our teams.
And have you worked any tactics out, or you wouldn't give them away, would you? Or?
No, I wouldn't give them away. You know, you know, it's worth a try. But no, we know, and there's things that does, and there's things that he can do, and there's a lot of things that people don't know that he can do yet.
Carl or Kiko?
Carl. Yeah. No, so once Carl comes through, then you know, a few things, it'll be a few changes.
And he's down here with Paddy Barnes. Just a word for Paddy Barnes is obviously like one of he probably end up one of our best amateurs of all time at this rate.
At the rate that he's gone, yes, that's correct. But terrific is Paddy's reputation in Ireland now. You're right what you're saying. But where Carl's concerned, Carl has the speed with Paddy.
Yeah.
He's moving with Paddy. He's not going to get anybody as fast as Paddy, you know, at that rate. And then he ups the antes, and he's different sparring partners and different punches brought in from, and he can box them, handle it. Everything's experience, and he's learning all the time. You're always learning, even before, right at the end of the day, you'll be learning.
And what about the targets even for Paddy? Would Paddy be looking for goals this year? Or?
Paddy looks for gold anywhere he goes. Anywhere he goes, he's a winner. Very, very much annoyed if he doesn't get it. He doesn't settle for second best. He's out for to be number one.
So we're looking for a world champion and an Olympic medalist.
Yes, absolutely.
And they're two good mates. I know. Would it be great to see them, you know, achieve at the highest together?
Well, that's good, and it's great to have the both of them together because it, as I said, it breaks the tension in the gym when they're really going at it hard. Because you can come in here on a fun day, but once the cards are on the table and they're training for championships or the games, it's a different ball game with them. But even with that, they can have a bit of banter, and it's good. The both of them, they slag each other off.
And you must be proud of both of them, are you, at this stage?
Them and everybody that comes into the gym. Yes, I'm very proud of them all. There's 6 Olympians and like 6 individual Olympians and European champions, you name it. And as you see, Frank Carson says he couldn't swing his cat in this gym. You know? But I keep telling them we're only starting.
There's more to come.
More to come.
Thanks a million, Jay.
Okay.